In Tower Defense Simulator, towers can vary a lot in terms of how good they are. Usually, you want to make a loadout consisting of the best towers, giving yourself the easiest game possible. But what if I try to win using the worst towers in the game? A couple days ago, I made a survey where you guys could vote for what the worst towers are in each category, that being DPS, early game, income, and support. After a day or two, the final results were as follow: Normal Minigunner as the worst DPS tower, Paintballer as the worst early game tower, Normal Cowboy as the worst income tower, and Freezer as the worst support tower. With this loadout, I'm going to be attempting to beat the 3 main TDS game modes. With that said, let's get started with our first challenge, that being normal mode. Since a normal cowboy is cheap enough to be placed on the first wave, I decided to just ignore the paintballer and instead spam cowboys as much as I could. This would allow me to maximize the amount of profit I'd make and be a more effective defense than the paintballer. Because let's be real, the paintballer is just... Level 0 is the best value in terms of making income, so at this point there was no need for me to upgrade my cowboys. I kept spamming cowboys until wave 7 where the first boss came out. My cowboys easily took care of it, however I had to upgrade a cowboy to level 3 in order to deal with the hiddens on wave 9. This level gains hidden detection, but unfortunately is less efficient in terms of making money. Because of this, I wanted to use as little level 3 cowboys as possible. Fortunately, one cowboy is enough to beat this wave, so I kept spamming level 0 cowboys. On wave 16 came the slow boss, a tanky enemy with 1600 health. I wanted to wait as long as possible before I got a minigunner in order to allow my cowboys to make as much cash as possible. However, after the wave ended, I decided to get a level 3 minigunner because I didn't want to end up losing the game. Level 3 is the best value of the minigunner, so you'll see me using it throughout this video. This was really convenient timing as this happened to be the wave with the first hidden boss. The hidden boss can be a huge issue as it is quick, has high health, and most towers can't attack it. Luckily, the level 3 minigunner can see hiddens and was able to handle it. After that, I continued to save up cash, and on wave 19 I got a max level freezer to help deal with the bolts and any upcoming speedy enemies. It was decently helpful, though the freezer still sucks. At this point, I felt that I farmed long enough and started to spam level 3 minigunners to try and get as much DPS as possible. This did significantly hurt my income, however, it made my defense a lot more comfortable. On wave 21 came one of the first difficult bosses, that being the speedy boss. It has 1800 health and an above average walk speed. This is where the freezer came in handy as it was able to completely negate its speed and give my minigunners more time to attack it. This combination allowed me to kill this boss, though it did get really far. For the next 9 waves, I slowly but surely replaced my cowboys with more level 3 minigunners, and by wave 30 I had 22 level 3 minigunners. This is the wave where I had to face the final boss, the Gravedigger. The Gravedigger has 40,000 HP, can summon enemies, and stun my towers. The boss did stun my towers a bunch, but I was eventually able to defeat the Gravedigger, successfully completing normal mode. The next challenge is Multimode. Overall, my strategy was relatively the same. I started with spamming level 0 cowboys, trying to make as much cash as possible. For some reason I decided to get a level 2 freezer on wave 8, but it did help a little bit against the wave 10 boss, giving my cowboys more time to kill it. I forgot to get a level 3 cowboy for wave 13 to deal with the hiddens, but fortunately I was able to get one right before they got out of my range, cleaning up all of them. This cowboy was also able to deal with wave 15. After getting some more level 0 cowboys, I decided to get a max level freezer on wave 19 just because I felt like it. On wave 20 came a horde of moltens, which are decently tanky enemies, however the cowboys could easily deal with them. This wave is going to be a lot more difficult on the upcoming follow mode. On wave 22, I decided to get 3 more level 3 cowboys to ensure that I could deal with any upcoming hidden bosses. On this same wave came the first slow boss, which my cowboys were able to take full advantage of and generate tons of cash. The next couple of waves, I decided to save up some cash, making sure to only get minigunners if needed. This is because the more damage my cowboys deal, the more money I would make. Placing down minigunners would take away potential shots from my cowboys, overall reducing my profit for no gain. I was able to survive just off of cowboys until wave 27, in which I placed my first level 3 minigunner to help deal with the shocks. At this point, I stopped caring about saving up cash and just started spamming level 3 minigunners. This was good, as on wave 30 came the first speedy boss, and my army of minigunners plus freezer easily killed it. Not an awful lot happened after this, and I basically just placed down level 3 minigunners for the rest of the game. Before I knew it, I was on the last wave and now had to face the molten boss. This was definitely more difficult than the Gravedigger. The molten boss has 70,000 health and can summon molten titans which have 3,500 health. I placed down as many minigunners as I could, and I'm not sure if I just got lucky, but the boss barely stunned my towers and I was able to kill it on the second loop, successfully completing 2 out of 3 modes. Okay, bust it down. Next up, we have the hardest out of the 3 modes, that being fallen mode. I had zero faith in myself soloing it, so I decided to get some help. I got 3 members from my Discord, that being Freglum, Yibba, and Nivdia. With a squad assembled, it was time for us to attempt beating fallen mode with our terrible loadouts. As usual, we began by spamming level 0 cowboys to maximize our profit and defend the first few waves. The level 10 boss wasn't any issue, and we kept spamming cowboys until wave 13, in which we forgot to get a level 3 cowboys for the shadows, causing us to unfortunately leak some enemies. We managed to get a level 2 minigunner and a level 3 cowboy halfway through wave 15, but we still ended up leaking a couple of shadows. We had like a ridiculous amount of health anyways, so we were fine. We kept getting more cowboys, but in wave 17, we decided to try and go go for one level 3 minigunner each in order to prepare for wave 20. This is the first wave of Fallens, which can become a huge issue to deal with if you're not prepared. They have high amounts of health and are really fast, often zooming past your defenses. Unfortunately, we did not have enough cash for level 3 minigunners, so I instead got a couple of level 2 freezers to try and slow down the Fallens. This was luckily enough, and our cowboy/minigunners were able to deal with the enemies. More Fallens came on wave 21, and we ended up leaking one of them. We were tired of leaking enemies, so we started focusing all of our cash on minigunners. This was a good idea, as a shadow boss on wave 24 almost got past us, but the added defense was able to deal with it. I guess I was being greedy, so after this, I started placing cowboys again. I was really focused on the end game, so I wanted to try and prioritize as much money as possible. Thankfully, my teammates were smarter and decided to keep upgrading their minigunners, ensuring that we didn't die. On wave 26 came the first glitches, which are pretty much Fallens, but faster and scarier. They almost got by, but getting an extra freezer seemed to do the trick. I think this got me a bit nervous, and I started to spam level 1 freezers, but this overall would come in handy just 3 waves later. This is because on wave 30 came the tank, one of the hardest enemies in Fallen mode. It has the same speed as a Fallen, but 6,000 health. Needless to say, it's a big threat. It zoomed out of the entrance and tried to work its way through our defenses, but our army of freezers were huge help, being able to completely stun the tank. Even though it got really far, we were able to just barely beat it. For being the worst support tower, the freezer's been surprisingly useful so far. After this wave, we all focused entirely on getting level 3 minigunners, as at this point, normal cowboys wouldn't pay themselves off before the game ended. Everything went smoothly for the next 8 waves, as our minigunners were able to easily take care of the waves. However, on wave 38, 2 summoner bosses, extremely tanky enemies with 8,000 health, and the ability to spawn enemies, slowly creep past our defenses. We frantically sold and replaced our minigunners, but the summoner spawned a couple of errors which ran past our defenses and quickly killed us. Considering how much we struggled against just 2 8,000 health enemies, I knew we stood no chance against a 150,000 health Fallen King, which can also summon 5,000 HP Fallen heroes. But I think this video shows that for most of the game modes, you don't need the best towers to win. If you enjoy using a tower, then go for it. You can probably make it work. Before I end the video, I'd like to thank Related Kidney, Blue Recon God, Sir Lag, Monkey Does TDS, Mr. Autistic Man, Mr. Giggles, Storm, Sniper Mask, Chris Andrew, Plate, Adam, Grow, Dad, Stay Hydrated, Potted Sprout, Luis Alberto, Elixir US, Virgil, Smelly Gamer Chair, TS Seal, Ready 48 It, Solox, Rookie, Duolingo's Coming, Nimbus the Wicker, Magyar Dude, The Figure, and Jandro684 for supporting my content by becoming a channel member. If you'd like to help me out and get some special perks in the meantime, like being my friend on Roblox, consider becoming a channel member today. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe to join the Blue Head Mafia. My name is CORSO, and I'll see you all in the next video.